downstairs and into a child's gentle grip. As for the spellings and definitions of most of the patois words threaded through the text, I am indebted to Cambridge University Press's Dictionary of Jamaican English, edited by F.G. Cassidy and R.B. LePage, without which I could never have transcribed many of my interviews. Other spellings employed in the replication of the island vernacular follow as closely as possible the slightly inconsistent style of the Daily Gleaner, Jamaica's 158-year-old newspaper. Throughout the latter part of the book, mention is made of the widespread suspicions among Jamaica's Rastafarian brethren that during the 1970s and early 1980s, the Central Intelligence Agency kept tabs on their activities in general, and on the career of Bob Marley in particular. By means of requests made under the Freedom of Information Act, 5 U.S.C. 552, in 1982 and 83, I received documentation from the CIA confirming that it and other United States government agencies have indeed kept files on the Jamaican reggae scene, the Rastafarian movement, and the activities of Bob Marley. For the expanded and enlarged 1991 edition, I distilled research, fieldwork, and notes accumulated over the course of 9 years with a large number of new and supplemental interviews, some of which corrected long-held misconceptions. For instance, it has been widely published over the last 2 decades that Rod Stewart played the harried harmonica on the ska classic My Boy Lollipop. According to Rod, "It wasn't me, mate. I believe that it was this guy, Peter Hogman, who replaced me in an early 60s R&B band, Jimmy Powell and the Five Dimensions. I couldn't play as well as him, but he did have the same fucking haircut as me, which I was more annoyed at than the rest." Also, several sources and archivists sought me out to offer new details or help amend a factoid or two. Yet Bob Marley's world was one in which opinion, memory, interpretation, and belief were often held in higher esteem than mere fact, and the confluence of conflicting outlooks, exotic recollections, fiercely expounded doctrines, and otherworldly belief systems interwoven herein are a major part of the book's philosophy and premise. In a way, there are 3 unique presences in this story: Bob Marley, Jamaica, and the power of faith. Once the reader has digested the harsh truths and deep background of Rhythm Track, I invite him or her to enter the world of Bob Marley on the terms of those whose wondrous faith informs it. Supernatural events and surreal coincidences are recounted in this book. In the chapter about Haile Selassie, the beliefs elucidated are those of the Ethiopian peasantry and their equally credulous leaders during Selassie's reign, though many of the heroic tales and supernatural abilities that surrounded Haile Selassie were reportedly concocted by the emperor himself and duly circulated by the central government and the Coptic priesthood. Further interpretations and details offered in the latter parts of the book are derived from the teachings down through the years of a host of exponents of Jamaican magic, folk healing, and the black arts, as well as those of quasi-Rastafarian and Rastafarian leaders. Among them, Robert Athley I. Rogers, Leonard Percival Howell, B. L. Wilson, H. Archibald Dunkley, and Claudius Henry. Often, as further filtered through the memories and personal catechisms of Bob Marley and his close relatives and friends. Whether the reader wants to believe that such supernatural events are credible is his or her decision. My point in attempting to tell this story from the subjective viewpoint of its protagonists is to convey the fact that the people around Haile Selassie and Bob Marley, past and present, indeed believed in magic, and lived their lives in accordance with these beliefs. Just as the 1992 edition included a host of amendments, discography additions, and fascinating new specifics, such as the fact that Marley's 1963 One Cup of Coffee single was actually a cover version of Texan Claude Gray's 1961 U.S. country hit, I'll Just Have a Cup of Coffee, Then I'll Go. The 1994 revision featured numerous new details, updates, and insights. For instance, although Coxon previously claimed the parenthetical notations of Scorcher on early Cox and Whalers singles just describe the beat, it also seems they describe the copyright too, with a producer recently revealing to Billboard that Scorcher was also his nom de plume, with the UK's Performing Rights Society and other copyright agencies.